What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
No, Cat, I am not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. I am not going out for chicken nuggets, cigarette milk, or any of the such. But we do have quite the story today.
I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much
Don't listen to him.
anything else.
I am working on something. We're cooking big, baby. Very big.
ignoring all the signs. And if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about lyrics. I don't really got any problems with him personally. I think it's just different ways that we talk and cover about stuff, but people keep telling me to say something, so I'm saying something now. Alright. Let's get the show on the road. I'm going to be using the thread as a source on this. So, if I'm a little all over the place at some points, I will. But we'll start with Shelby's video. Alright. Hello. What's happening, gamers? Main channel be like, I have no bread, but I must bake. Alright. Are you going to address the goober allegations? I am a goober. I'm a silly little guy. I'm the silliest little guy. I'm the CEO of little guys. Okay. All right. So you guys might have seen a little drama going on. A little something. I've been following this for a little bit behind the scenes, not really saying anything because I figured, you know, allegations aren't evidence. Well, apparently allegations are evidence to a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, as well as Minecraft YouTuber Twitter. The gist of it is, as far as I'm aware, and feel free to correct me, and again, we will be looking at Shelby's video along with everything else. This might be a multi-part stream, to be honest. Wilbur Soot was accused of domestic abuse and relationship abuse. If you don't know who Wilbur Soot is, he's kind of like a tall, twee twink Minecraft guy. And okay, let me this is gonna be a point against him, right? But you know those guys that do like they have like a flower headband and they play the ukulele, you know, Band Kid Andy, who's like, oh, I'm so hot, you know, that guy with the flower band, and he's like really in touch with his feminine side, and he always gets the leads in the plays. And he plays the ukulele, and he's so in touch. And you know that guy, and then it turns out that guy's like, I don't know, like a crazy person. That's him. That's what he looks like. He is that kind of guy. That isn't to say that he's guilty. I'm just mocking his appearance because that's what he looks like. He's a soft boy. Yeah. He's the kind of guy. There's like a meme where it was like, would you lock this guy up? Would you take this guy on a date? And then it's like, I would lock him in a shipping container and torture him for months. He's that guy. Right? Yeah, a soft boy. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. You know who's a soft boy? Nick is not green. Ethan is online, so you know, I really liked Wilbur Soot. Well, the thing is, right, at this current point in time, this is all allegations. Spoken word allegations, of which many of this is unsubstantiated. So there's that, right? Hold on. Let me... Boom. He did confirmed allegations, though. Okay. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. You know what? Let's start by actually going over that right now. Because I think there's a bit of a contentious discussion about this, right? They aren't allegations. His response confirmed them. Pause. 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 You people coming in saying that. I'm gonna read it right now. Now, I think this is kind of too early to tell, so I don't want to be the kind of guy who's going to be so definitive. Lyrics has been very definitive on the point of what he's been mentioning. And I'll get into a little bit of a discussion about that stuff, and relationship stuff, and more like overarching picture, which really has to do with my opinion on this. He admitted to biting her, but said it was consensual. Exactly, Makari. So I'll read what he said first, but the gist of it is, yeah, he was accused of relationship abuse and domestic abuse. Yeah, anyway, there's that. But here's what Wilbur said to those allegations. In the past week, a series of allegations have been made over my conduct from an ex-girlfriend. I want to emphasize that although I feel it is fair to offer my perspective, this person's feelings are completely valid. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of like reading the grammar here. So please allow me to do that. By the way, if you're wondering what that trash bag is, I am taking my cans to recycling tomorrow, so that's why that's there. But that's just to remind me to do that. You know, I'm not doing the Asmongold shit. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's there. Anyway.
This is a certified hood classic.
Can I get some keys in chat?
Get some keys in chat. Okay. So he's saying, I feel it's fair to offer my perspective, which, by the way, he doesn't really offer much at all. And then following up from that, this person's feelings are completely valid. So he's using the language of feelings. She feels that this was the case. That doesn't mean that this was the case. In his opinion, he feels that she is entitled to feel that way, right? But that doesn't mean that he says that is fact, right? Let's not conflate with people's feelings with what actually happened. Now, I personally feel that most of Minecraft YouTube is made up of a bunch of psychopaths, right? But that is a feeling. It is not reality, okay? So I understand that this is a contentious point of discussion, but people seem to confuse how people feel about things with the reality of things. I can feel offended for someone calling me a slur, but like that's just how I feel about it, okay? That reads like he's trying to not make it come off like he's putting her down. Yes, exactly, Sasha. That's exactly the point. And I think that's really important to notice. And I think part of it has to do with a lot of the culture he comes from. If we're talking about that soft boy, ooh-woo, Minecraft, YouTuber, Twitter culture, where it's kind of hard for him to be very, like, against it, right? See? Okay, doo-doo head. I can feel upset about doo-doo head, but factually, maybe I am a doo-doo head, you know? Granted, I don't think you can confirm that. I don't want to sound like Ben Shapiro facts don't care about my feelings guy. But you know, that's not always the reality. He doesn't even say her name, never calls her Shelby once. Yes. And I do believe Shelby never mentions Wilbur by name. And that this drama kind of expanded into something more as people began looking into it, you know, doing detective work on the internet. During our relationship's final months, I regrettably became slobbish, disrespectful, and shellfish. Shellfish? And selfish. Okay. So, here's another thing. If you've been in a relationship and it's like kind of running its course, maybe during the final months of that relationship, both of you are a bit more standoffish. You know, you're contemplating ending the relationship. That's where I think that comes from, right? These actions cause a lot of pain to my ex-girlfriend. I have since sought therapy to address these behaviors, making significant lifestyle changes to rectify my past actions. I've come to realize how much about my past behavior hurt this person. So, like, and this is another thing where it's like, my past behavior hurt this person. So, like, what? In the final months, he wasn't a really good boyfriend. That's not, that doesn't mean anything. I'm sure you guys have all had bad partners in the past too, right? But I'm truly compassionately believe I have made great strides to improve as a person I once was. I hope it can continue to grow and improve, blah, 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 blah. Right? Apparently the Slavish comes from him having ants and living in filth and having ants and punching holes in walls. I haven't seen a single picture of him punching a hole in the wall. Or any holes in the wall. But yeah, I mean, maybe in the thread something is there, but you know. He had an ant infestation and wouldn't deal with it because he, quote, likes bugs. I'm gonna need to see proof, but like that's I could see that. I could see that. Not to be that guy, but I could see that.
This is a certified hood classic.
Support the Goblin King.
Thank you, Kim. That's right. Guys, make sure to support the Goblin King, me, FPS Diesel. The allegations of abuse, particularly in the form of biting, deeply shocked me. Throughout our relationship, I understood from numerous conversations and text messages on the subject that this behavior was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed. I truly believe those personal message exchanges reflect mutual affection and understanding. Okay, so he has this vlog that the YouTuber Fundy has with Will, where Will admits to not only having punched holes in his wall, but smashing a window. Cut hand because he punched a hole in the wall around 2020. So... okay, what's the implication? The implication is he punches holes in the wall to scare Shelby, right? I mean, I guess that's the most reasonable take. The least reasonable take is that, see, he's a violent sociopath. He punches holes in the wall. That's just an example of his sociopathy, right? So he claims that there is reciprocal consensual evidence that denotes the allegations of abuse are false, that he has evidence to the contrary of that claim. And then he does something really weird and really stupid, and I would have never recommended that to him. Almond City, thank you for becoming a member of the gas station, becoming a gas station attendant. That's very Poggies. I don't even know. Did it play the fart? I don't even think it did. The implication, I believe, is he has bad anger management. I mean, that is also a reasonable take, but I have seen nothing but the crazy takes from Twitter. There was somebody who said they overdosed because Wilbur was a bad guy. I don't know why a Minecraft YouTuber not being perfect would say that you need to kill yourself, but I mean, if you're that, I don't know what to tell you. I'd argue him taking ice cold baths is better proof of him being insane. Okay, so let me continue. So he does something really weird here, where he says there's evidence of his innocence, and then he says, I choose not to publish them, and I emphasize my perspective is not shared to diminish or invalidate anyone's feelings. Like, this is... Like, he's like, I have evidence, but... out of respect for her, I'm not publishing
This is a
them.
certified hood classic.
Are you practicing Duolingo? Podemos poner en el chat. Tenemos que darle pan a nuestro panadero.
I'm not that good at it, but yeah, I have like a 700-day streak right now. Yeah, on one half, why is he being so cordial and respectful to her when she's not been anything of the sort? I know, right? I don't understand why he did that. That makes no sense why he would do that. Other than, you know, he's trying to... Okay, I will go back to that, but it's because people kept mentioning it. So that's why I went to it, right? But yeah, so basically he says so and then takes it back. I share it in hope that I can offer a genuine, fair, relevant insight to my understanding of the situation. While I may perceive our interactions differently, I recognize that this person has processed and expressed feelings of hurt. Honestly, part of me is just like, maybe he should just get screwed over because he's so pushover about it, right? So like, even if it's not, if none of this is true, I feel like he should just lose just because this is such a bad response. I feel like we're so far into all of these allegations that like you could write a book on how to do this correctly, and he just did it incorrectly. You know, I think this is a shitty response. I'm fully committed to understanding and addressing her concerns going forward. She's your ex. Like, why the fuck do you need to address anything she has to say now? It's over. I hope my perspective sheds light on this situation without detracting from its message. I'm dedicated to earning and maintaining the trust of those around me. I don't trust this Wilbur Soot character, Diesel IRL. I understand that this is like the drama hour, right? And we're like, I don't know anything about either of these people. I haven't heard anything about Wilbur Soot before this. Dream had a humongous record behind him that could guarantee like your opinion on him being much stronger, right? But basically, the point of the matter here is that the apology's bad. Like, it's a bad apology. I don't know what else to say than that. Even if he was 100% in the right, you can't. But I do think there's like this overwhelming... I'll talk about relationship stuff when we get closer to the end of this information, because I do feel it's important to this. Until proven otherwise, I don't believe a word she says. She literally seemed more upset about him not talking to her. Unfortunately, he has a really young audience due to Minecraft. All right, we'll just watch the VOD now.
Mode only because I'm just going to be talking today, and then I'm going to go. Yeah, it was very, very low. There's no need. It felt weird leaving you in silence, but I'm here, so.
How young are these dude? How young are these two? I'm assuming early 20s.
Hello. I want to talk about something today that very nervous. I feel sweaty. I had a sweater on. I had to take it off. I'm going to try and I wrote down pretty much everything.
I think she's around 30. If she's around 30, that is really going to taint my picture here. So, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do myself a favor. I hate it when they force me to get ads on a fucking website. Who is... Fine, I'll allow ads. I'll allow ads. God. Wilbur's like 27. If you're about to say she's 27 and they're 30, I'm gonna lose my mind. So she's grown. She's grown. She's 30. She is 30 years old. How old is Wilbur? He's grown. And he's 27. How long were they dating? I'm sorry. I know I'm asking all this. I've just found out about these people. I think this is all important. So how long were they dating? And Wilbur date. they're they're not in their early 20s. Will's 20. Okay. All right. Yeah, if I don't know. I have opinions on this. I think I could, why the hell are they so childish? Eh, Y'all are old. She reminds me of a girl I knew with BPD. She acted like everything he did was extremely abusive. They kept their relationship a secret. We only got confirmation they dated through this allegation. How much you want to bet they dated over the pandemic? I'd bet money they dated over the pandemic. Bet money they dated over it. Okay, I gotta be frank. I thought these people were in their early 20s. Everything about their behavior and attitude screamed to me that these are people in their early 20s. With that being said, they're a bit older. I'm gonna be a lot more scrupulous. Is that the right word to use? I know age doesn't matter when it comes to maturity, but I just hope. I think in some aspects, as I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot more mature. I know I've definitely gotten better with doing things like conflict. Not saying he did anything, but he does have a track record of defending minors. I am not even. I am so... Listen, guys, round of applause because this isn't a pedophile allegation. I know Wilbur visited her at some point in 2021. They dated over the pandemic, 100%.
I think that I want to say to keep track of sort of all the points that I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So I will be reading from something a good portion of the time, but not 100% of the time.
I'm gonna end up putting up
and I just wanted to
volume.
make sure I got all of my thoughts down in words ahead of time. I really like writing down my thoughts. So I did that. Oh, hold on. Can I turn ads off? I think that maybe we turn ads off today. How do I make that happen for just today? Should have had that already. I should have had that already. I actually don't even know how to make that happen. You know what? That's just gonna have to be that way. I'm so sorry. I'm all good.
Mentally, they're in their early 20s.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the pandemic kind of slowed down people. Because here's something I've realized as the pandemic's passed, and now that we're kind of out of it and things are like back to normal people are like, they stayed in relationships for like 3 years over the course of the pandemic. You couldn't go out anywhere, you couldn't date, you couldn't do anything. So you kind of stayed in that. Even though you might have realized the relationship, not so good, you didn't want to deal with like the loneliness of it. So you stuck around in it, right?
Okay, today's just going to be talking. I'm just going to start reading from what I wrote and go from there. I have a really big coffee. I'm going to take a swig. And I have my water, and I'm going to take a swig of that.
Okay, and she's American, and he's European. He's British. So there was a time difference and space difference for a good time. Yeah, stunted is a good word. Yeah, I feel the pandemic kind of stunted a lot of people's social ability and emotional range. And because of that, a lot of relationships that should have ended or might have had issues, right, might have maintained things that weren't healthy for them because either they realize they're not compatible or their life goals and differences changed, right? So it's the problem of being... That's what happens when you stay online all your formative years. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, absolutely.
I have always liked telling my different experiences that I've had in dating, because it feels important to me to share what I've learned and maybe help other people to not make the same mistakes that I have before. I'm 30. I've dated a lot. I've gone on a lot of dates. I keep trying. And it's unfortunate that a lot of my dating history, there were a lot of bad people that tried to manipulate or...
Okay, pause, lady. Pause. Everybody experiences bad experiences in their dating life. But we gotta remember not to contextualize these things as people being like literally psychopathic, like ornithologically like evil people. Sometimes people aren't compatible, they have bad issues, they have a fucking weird laugh. Things happen. You break up, you move on. But let's not be like I really hazard a guess that everybody was like a manipulative sociopath. Like this, I'm sure we all have experiences with people that are that kind of person. But then I'm sure, and I hope, that we have more experiences where things just don't work out.
control me. But that's not to say that every person that I've dated has treated me poorly. Some people just weren't the right people. And speaking out about my bad experiences has never felt as important as it does right now, because silence has always brought me peace. And this time it feels like my silence is not keeping my peace. It's only keeping somebody else's peace. And I never thought that I could be the kind of person to end up in a situation like I did. I never thought that could happen to me. And so for me, this is important because it could help anybody else see the signs sooner than I did, or hopefully avoid a similar situation entirely, because the...
Okay, there's two types of people that get exposed. The Harvey Weinsteins, those are people that need to be exposed. But, like, at a certain point, I don't know how much it's helping anybody else to tell the world about how bad your ex was or the bad things that happened. Like, I know me personally, with bad experiences, I'm not getting out here and being like, guys, if you ever run into her, stay away. You know, because at least from a men's perspective, men are going to do the bad decision and hook up with the bad girl, whether or not they hear what you're saying or not. But I feel like it gets a little ridiculous because we're trying to like there's two differences here. Like there's criminals and then there's just shitty people. And I don't want to constantly keep talking about the shitty people because those aren't the ones we need to keep exposing. It's the criminals that need to be exposed, not the shitty people.
The truth is, it was dangerous.
Like, oh, okay, that's outrageous. Let's keep going. You better bring something to the table, Shelby.
There were a lot of things wrong in this relationship that I endured some pretty terrible treatment. And I might touch on some things here and there about that, but if I feel like it's important.
I mean, I will say for women, I will warn friends if there's a potential safety concern, but otherwise, like, yeah, no, lol. You know, it's crazy. I've had things where that's come up, and
This
I've
is
aired
a
that.
certified hood classic.
I missed the start of stream, so not
Holy
sure if you
shit.
got your payout, but thank you for the streams and laughs. Please take my bread.
Thank you for that. Yeah, if you're in a server, you'll know that I said, I'm just waiting to get paid. There's nothing. They haven't really broken contract. My contract is up in 30 days, so I am leaving, and there's a good chance I'll just be cutting my losses. So thank you for that. By the way. But that was very pog. Thank you, Oil Prince, Quantum PZ. That was very based of you. Why do good girls like bad boys? All right, I completely lost my train of thought. I'm just gonna keep playing what Shelby had to
To
say.
the overall context, but what I want to stay focused on is this specific issue, and the things that happened matter-of-factly, and the things that people saw and witnessed in our circle. It took me 10 months after to heal, and I spoke with multiple therapists and tried different forms of therapy.
Okay, I would really like, okay, you go to the therapist, you say, I want to tell the public about my ex. I would hope, and I would argue to the therapist, that unless there is a safety risk to the public, that maybe, just maybe, we don't constantly keep taking these things to the public, right? Because the only thing that is going to come out of doing something like this, assuming he is bad, is that his career is ruined, right? And you're already gone from him. You're in a better place. You've moved on, quote unquote, right? I don't think it is really productive to put yourself back in it and now get into a public discussion and debate about the relationship, right? Like I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking that? Am I articulating myself in a way that is like cogent here? Right? Like I don't know. Like there's nothing to do now. Like you're out of the relationship, you've gotten therapy, you're healing, you're becoming better, you're moving on, you've gotten away from the abuse. Why do I need to know about that? Right? I mean, on one hand, it's like, oh, you don't want to support bad people, but it is. It's like you're reopening a healed wound. It just seems really strange. You're right, boss. Thank you, Cloudy. Like I knew women, and again, I think I've told this story where I was interviewing this lady, and she was telling me about how her baby daddy would throw her down the stairs while she was pregnant, and then she would just get up and keep taking it. And she was telling me about this harrowing physical abuse. This is a kind of environment where there were drugs on the table right next to a baby in a cradle, roaches running around a room. A woman was beat physically with a fist. Cigarette burns on baby skin, really serious abuse. That guy is in prison now, from what I remember, but you heal, you move on. Let's say he gets out of prison, you're never going to see him again. Neither of you are going to see each other again. Like coming to Twitter and telling Twitter about how bad he was. What is that solving? That's what I mean. Where I think about that and those kind of things, it's like, what does that solve? You don't just move on from abuse. It can take years, and this could just be her coping. Okay. I know it can take a long time for people to move on from abuse. I'm not telling her to get the fuck over it. I'm saying this is not healthy coping. This is not healthy coping, right? Assuming she is telling the truth, which I am giving her the benefit of the doubt, this is unhealthy. And if her friends encourage this, they are bad friends, okay? This does nothing to help her at all, because now she's the point of public discourse, and her feelings could be invalidated because of it.
I tried somatic therapy. That one was actually really good for me. Because that one actually helped me release a lot of built up anger I was having over the last year. But the anger that I was feeling was for myself, because I felt like
I don't know. It's just like, as a creator personally, I think as I've gotten older, the less I want to share with the internet. This is a prime example of, like, you need to share less. Yeah, normal people don't make vids and post them to YouTube. Yeah.
should have known better. I felt so stupid at myself for sort of just staying through all of this. And I shared my story with a lot of friends after I started talking to therapists. And I was like, so this thing happened and I wasn't really sure. It just seems weird now to me looking back. And all of them told me exactly what was happening in the words that I was too afraid to use. And I was being hurt.
Okay. Another thing, if we're talking about friends here and we're talking about these young 18, 19-year-old YouTube Minecraft guys, I hope that that is not some of the people who are closely involved with this, because again, when I go to people for advice about things, I want people who are older and more experienced than me, for the express purpose of that generally those people have a more nuanced take. So, but that's me, and I am also blessed with having friends that are older than me.
In my last relationship. And it took me all of that time to see it through that lens.
So her friends were telling her, you've been abused, Shelby.
I even posted
Shelby's in a bunch of SMPs with older creators, so not teens. Okay. Something I'm extremely upset about is people were speculating on Jack Manifold, a mutual of Shelby and Will, and because of that, Jack had to come forward about being a past victim of abuse. So, and that's another point you mentioned, Sugar, right? She doesn't mention the abuser by name, and because of all the speculation people were doing, it just made the situation worse. It just made it worse. You know, it's a half step forward to be like, I'm going to talk about my story of abuse with the creator, but then also not tell you who the creator is. And now you're just putting a bunch of like targets on people's backs. I mean, it's just like how we saw where Lex over-explained the situation with Dom to the point where it backfired on her.
an anonymous story to Reddit that I have now deleted with an anonymous account. But in posting that, I found a dozen other stories that were exactly like mine, exactly the same way. And all of the comments said exactly the same thing. And I was so mad at myself because I was lying too.
Okay, another thing. I'm sorry. I'm going to be pause Andy on this. And I'm offering a lot of advice here today. And, you know, obviously, I think go to therapy, take your meds, the things I say all the fucking time, right? Those are important. Reddit, I again, like, you go to Reddit looking for advice, you're going to get what you want to hear. You're not going to get what you need to hear. So Reddit's a great resource for figuring out an issue you have with a computer. It is not the same for people and emotional relationships, because Reddit is Reddit. Maybe she didn't want to say the name out of fear of stans. Yeah, but she is 30 and should be smarter to realize that her talking about this period is going to cause a discourse about it. Because Minecraft, YouTube, Twitter is a humongous community. Okay? All of them, regardless of their, guy that they stan, are going to have discourse about it. Because that's what you do in that community. You have discourse about these guys being cringe. By the way, if the stream like randomly goes down, if the stream randomly goes down, it is pouring outside. There's a huge storm going through.
Point to protect this person because I knew that if I told my friends the truth, it'd make him look really bad. I didn't think that I would cry, and I practiced saying all of this, and I didn't cry. But it's easier to practice.
Age doesn't always indicate maturity either, unfortunately. Absolutely. But my ability to give you the benefit of the doubt goes down with age, because I don't care if you're 30 and spent your entire 30 years of your life sitting in front of a fucking computer. You were 30. You should be able to bring more to the table. I'm 26, right? I'm not going to claim that I know everything or have everything fucking figured out. And I don't want to be like some arbiter of like right way of doing things. But with age, you should have experienced things to be a little wiser to certain behaviors or how people act, right? You need to be able to have various social groups to understand how to deal with personal conflict, to deal with those things. And I feel there's a lot that don't. You've been alive long enough. Yeah.
Zip.
Like, I can't determine the totality of your existence, but you know, you should be able to bring something to the table.
When no one is listening. But he always cared more about how it looked, and that was really important, not what was true. And it was really subtle. When I hear about physical abuse, I think of hitting. I think of hitting and punching. So I thought that this wasn't violent enough to be abuse. I thought that it was just like a constant accident that he kept hurting me, but he's not hitting me. And it didn't start as something that he did to hurt me. He had this habit of biting, which is so weird to me now. But
are you watching this for the first time? Yes.
He said that he had had this habit since he was a kid, and even his mom said that that was true. And he said it was just affectionate, and that might have been.
Yeah. He has a habit of affectionately biting. Bro's a dog.
I mean, I think that might have been true.
This video is truly eye-opening. Bro, I'm sorry. I have seen crazy shit. At a certain point, you need to bring things to the table. Okay? You can't just say things. Okay? It just doesn't work that way anymore. It doesn't. That's not how the internet works. Because there's people that are... The problem is that there are people who use the position as a victim as the basis for attacking others, right? For attacking others. I've talked about it a couple times. I hate bringing it up because I don't want to do this to my friend. I love Quite to death. Quite was accused with no evidence. Everybody believed it. And it required him having to bring a bunch of receipts as well as showing his face for people to be, oh shit, we made a mistake. Right? And again, that video that was done was also phenomenal and amazing. But it was not something that was done lightly and required lots of nuanced and also hard discussion and a lot of things. Okay? So, you know, it's like, yeah, the feelings are important, but we need more. Okay? That's just how it is.
Maybe at the start, but I also feel that I have good reason to believe that every part of it was a lie, but that's just my personal opinion. And I had no problem with just biting. That isn't even the most uncommon thing. But he did mention something early that I should have taken as a red flag. And he wanted to make sure that I was okay with him biting me because he didn't want me to come back later and say that he abused me, which I thought was...
So he asked for consent in biting. And then based off of what he says, the answer to that was you gave him a yes.
Really weird, considering he had never hurt me before.
And I will also say, if you're a YouTuber, I kind of feel like the optics discussion and discussions about whether or not your relationship's public or secret, all that comes up beforehand. No. Biting humans is something that is uncommon. Is that a joke? Because, like, it's really common. Listen, there are plenty of people who have sex and do a little bit of biting, you know, bro? Maybe even just, like, passively is, like, a form of affection. I've known people like that.
And so why would I call it abuse? And why was he thinking about that? And I thought he was being sweet, checking on me to make sure that I was still comfortable. But of course I was, because he hadn't hurt me. And why would I
So he would check on you to make sure you're comfortable.
Think he ever would? And then he did for the first time by accident. And I don't specifically remember the actual first time that he bit me too hard by accident because I didn't think that it would be significant. I thought that it would only happen once. And he started biting me more and more over a period of time, sort of throughout the whole... Really.
Maybe you're just kinky, Diesel. Listen, man, I don't know what the fuck is with like these Zoomers and millennials. What is with all these missionary Andes?
relationship and accidents of him
You can retract consent though, for real. Yes, Jesus fucking Christ. Obviously, these are things that are discussed, right? She agrees to biting, and she's like, "That's cool, that's cute, that's whatever." Right at the beginning of the relationship, and she's cool with it. 6 months into the relationship, she's like, "Stop biting me." He stops biting, assuming that happened. But if he bites, she's like, "Ow," and then he's like, "Oh, are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah." That's completely different. That's like, oh, playful, just biting, and it's hard to watch because you pause every 2 seconds, then leave, you fucking idiot. Go somewhere else. Just go watch the fucking clip on your own, you fucking moron.
biting too
Stupid.
hard and really hurting me happened more and more frequently. But he always seemed genuinely sorry, and he decided that he didn't want to keep accidentally hurting me. So we were going to use a safe word. So he could learn where my limit was, where my pain
Okay,
tolerance
that's perfect. You create a safe word so that way you both know.
ended. And saying that out loud now doesn't sound like that's not very sound logic. But at the time, I thought he cared about.
Wait. They made a safe word. Let me just watch that again.
And he decided that he didn't want to keep accidentally hurting me. So we were going to use a safe word. So he could learn where my limit was, where my pain tolerance ended. And saying that out loud now doesn't sound like that's not very sound logic.
What do you mean? You both are what? No, safe words are really important. Okay, if you're talking about having like kinky sex where people can be hurt, that's necessary. That's important. That's really important. Did they play Mousetrap in the bedroom? It is logical to use a safe word. Safe words are really important. Guys, if you want to tie your chick up on a bed, come up with a safe word. Have a safe word. Something that wouldn't be said in bed. Okay? Fucking, you want to whip her? You want to spank her? Safe word. What's her limit? Does she say, yeah, a little bit of blood's fine. A little bit of bruising's fine. What are the limits, right? And then you move from there and you have a safe word so you know, like, listen, maybe it's not that sexy. You hit her with a paddle. This is an insane stream. You hit her with a paddle. She's like, that's not hard enough. You hit her again. That's not hard enough. You hit her really hard. That's too hard. You're like, okay, I know it's too hard. You hit her again. That's just right. That's it. That's all you need to do.
But at the time, I thought he cared about not hurting me. But in reality, it's like, why are you biting so hard? And why do you have to bite so hard? And it shouldn't be that hard of a problem to stop.
You need, if you were being kinky, you just make safe words. If she's not cool with that, and she doesn't like that shit, then maybe you're not compatible for each other.
Shouldn't be that hard. And he disguised it as this really quirky part of our relationship and was so comfortable sharing it with his friends to the point that he would do it in front of them. He thought it was this really funny story to tell and a good bit to take my arm and bite me in front of everybody until I literally shout in pain. And then I have to laugh it off because I'm so embarrassed and I don't want to cause a scene in front of all of our friends. And I'm sure everyone was a little bit uncomfortable, but as long as I was saying that it was fine.
I will say that if you're being like sexually provocative in front of your homies, that's like a totally different discussion. Again, these are all discussions you need to have, and that's another thing when you're like bringing to public, like your other friends into it. Don't, like, you gotta, come on. Oh shit.
Nobody really felt like
Being bit is like not even that degenerate. That's like so vanilla, you know, like bro did have a little dog in him.
they needed to be concerned, and that's not anybody's fault because I was lying. I was lying, and it wasn't fine because I would go home later.
Yeah, doing kink stuff in front of others is a little different. Yeah, absolutely.
and I'd tell him how uncomfortable I was, how much I
He apparently it isn't a sex thing. He would bite other female friends too. That's weird if true. I hope she brings that up in this.
didn't like being hurt all the time. And I needed him to really stop biting so hard. I didn't like it, and I tried telling him over and over again because he asked him to stop again. This time he said, this is who he is. He isn't going to change.
Then the relationship ends. I don't like being bit. Well, I like biting. It's a form of affection for me. You are not compatible. Leave.
Were his...
You are 30. You should... Okay. All right. The older you get, I think you should be a little pickier. Okay? Hot take. I think you're allowed to be a little pickier. Okay? I like, in the same breath, I feel people are really picky, but then also really forgiving of bad habits. Okay? So, like, I like biting. I like a little bit of werewolf play. Shout out to Camden Gerard Davis. Everybody wants a golden retriever boyfriend and is shocked when the dog bites. Yeah, like if he's into that and he finds it affectionate, he finds it sexy, he finds it fun, and you don't, and that is something that you cannot reach an agreement on, you break up. Sometimes there are things in relationship that just don't work. And that's one of the things where you're like, I need a really soft relationship that's not physical like that. He wants a relationship that is physical. That's incompatible. Break up. Be picky.
Words.
Nikki came forward, and there are also clips from years ago talking about Will unconsensually biting her hard enough to leave bruises. Listen, if he's going around biting a bunch of people... Got that Cameron Gerard Davis.
$5 from Armand City. I got that Cameron Gerard Davis in me.
Yeah, if he's going around biting people, that's weird as fuck. This bro really got that dog in him. But then, like, in the same breath with that, it's like, I don't think, like, because, like, I feel like the conversation is where, like, he's a manipulative bastard, manipulator, psychopath, right? Like, that's where the discussion is. That's the kind of tone that we're dealing with. Maybe bro just got pica, or like his autism just percolates differently.
And I remember a lot of specifically his words about certain things, especially at the end, because I'm good at remembering words, and especially his wording.
I heard Nicholas Diorio compared Wilbur to Mike Tyson, biting off the ear.
I became really good at remembering because he was constantly contradicting himself, and I would notice, but most of the time it wasn't worth picking a fight over. But he would fight me on it sometimes because I would point it out, and he would insist that he had never...
Biting people is just normal British behavior. You know, I was just speaking to a British lady. She literally said that same thing. Literally said that same thing.
Said the thing that he said. He definitely did say.
Okay,
And then
how old you are? They teach biting is bad at like 3.
Say something like, how are you so sure you're remembering correctly? Why are you always right? And he definitely said the things that I heard him say, and other people heard him say. So he had now at this point weaponized the safe word and was using it to ensure that I was hurt, and on a
$2 from Armand City.
And he
there
wasn't
are 2 Cameron Gerard Davises inside of you.
Oh shit.
sorry anymore. I couldn't even...
Why is Tox talking about biting people? So it was a different British person, not Tox, though she would 100% talk about biting people, 100%. Which, by the way, one of you fucking guys responded under the... She drew a picture of her goblin Alex sucking human cock. And I... and somebody responded under that, I'm so glad FPS Diesel helped me discover you. So to the gooner who discovered Toxic, thanks to me, you're welcome. I saw that.
Didn't tell you the last time he had apologized for doing it anymore, because now sometimes he would bite me and I would yell out the safe word because it hurt so bad, and
he would yell out the safe word and then he would stop, right?
Clamp down even harder.
Okay, well, okay, yep, nope. Now you need to leave. I don't. Okay, I don't want to be that guy, and I know we're doing it in chat a little bit, where it's like he's not meeting the agreements set in a relationship. Leave. But like, I understand that there's emotional baggage and weight that you put into a relationship. The Leviathans are gooning. Right? But it's just like, it's like you're an adult. You need to be able to take some fucking responsibility. Like, he's not meeting those demands. You need to leave. Like, I understand that it's easier said than done, and that we're obviously like we're coming at this from like the angle of abuse, right? So the idea here's the thing, right? If we're talking abuse, she should be afraid to leave. Okay? But I like, what's it gonna
This
do?
is a
Bite her?
certified hood classic.
I'll have you know that I don't bite. I might drink too much tea, but I'm not a vampire.
That guy, not Cameron Gerard Davis. But yes, what's preventing her from leaving legitimately? She seems fine. Nothing happened after they broke up. If we find out, that'll change things up. Exactly, Nani. Exactly. Let's sink our teeth into this. There are two Leviathans inside you, the Gooner and the Biter. You decide. He's just a little hungry. Shelby, you're just looking like a snack. I want to take a bite.
And just for a second, just for good measure, before letting go. And sometimes I'd say the safe word and he'd grind his teeth down on my skin.
That's assuming this is true. Assuming this is true. Leave. And then I also want to say there's distance between them. Probably countries worth of different distance. He's in the UK, from what I know, unless they're both in like fucking LA or something. But this distance, just be like, literally go over text, be like, we're done. You're fucking weird. Like, I hate it. And this is why I think they dated over the pandemic, because you kind of develop this relationship. Abusers could also get more violent if you try to leave. I have a feeling she was terrified, considering it seemed he already confirmed that he didn't care about her pain. Okay. We need to know where the threats of violence came. Okay? Right? Because when things... I wish I could talk about things that have happened to me in my life, right? But I'm not going to do that. But you don't always... there's going to be signs. It's not just things could happen, right? Now, if they live together, this is a different story, right? It was a long distance. It's long distance. It's a different story if they were living together, 100%. The bite of 21. But I really do think that the pandemic played a role in this. They were both online together. Nowhere to really go, nothing to really do. Stuck together. Built up a lot of relationship rapport. And it makes it hard to step away from a relationship. There are a lot of people who drag their feet on ending relationships because, well, I've spent so much time with this person. A lot of people do that. That's normal. That happens all the time. Didn't they just visit each other? Yes.
And sometimes he'd smile after. Like a gloating grin.
This is just two people not having good sexual communication. Again, Minecraft YouTubers, not surprised, but not a big deal so far. Thank you. 100%. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Yes, that is my thesis statement as well, Night Angel. Are we gooners or biters? Okay, let's poll the chat. Are we gooners or biters? There we go.
I was filled with so much anxiety all the time that I was constantly nauseous, gagging daily, on occasion throwing up because of the pit that was in my stomach. I never told him about that, though. I was going and running away quietly to throw up in the toilet and rejoin our group of friends.
This is just about the biting. I want to know about his other forms of abuse, right? Because we're 13 minutes in now. I understand this is, maybe we'll hear more as this continues. I hope so. Why wasn't there an option for both? 'Cause sometimes in life you got to make hard decisions. like I want to know what is so dangerous about Wilbur that is where aside from him and according to you giving the unconsensual biting, what are the other forms of abuse? I want to know and have that detailed to me so I can develop a fuller picture of this domestic situation that you're describing to me. That's important to know. I can't understand the scope of the abuse with you only talking about the biting for the last 14 minutes. Like wow, we got quite a lot of gooners. The biters are catching up at 45% right now. But I think I'll end it with the gooners winning. Little Guys Incorporated, certified gooners in this community. Imagine being a Wilbur fan and seeing him walk around with a muzzle on because he allegedly can't stop biting. Is it? Listen, man. It's called pet play. It exists. Maybe he really do got that dog in him. Maybe he's the guy equivalent of Puppy Girl Jenna. Yeah, screenshots of the dirty place. Yep. And of conversations would help a lot. 100%. 100%.
But I felt so unwanted and ignored. And I would tell him that. And then he would reassure me that he wanted to be together and he loved me. He loved me more than I loved him, even. He would always insist that was true, like that. I love you more. But he was like really serious about it. Since sure about that, though, I was going and running away quietly to throw up in the toilet and rejoin our group of friends. But I felt so unwanted and ignored. And I would tell him that. And then he would reassure me that he wanted to be together and he loved me. He loved me more than...
Okay, so an argument starts. You're saying, I feel unwanted and unlistened to. I'm thinking of ending the relationship. Right? Okay, so... fellas. And this may be... This may be because of... maybe the youngers. I will not be falsely labeled as a gooner. I will be a proud biter. Like, you're saying, I'm going to leave the relationship, and then that's where the argument starts. Of course he's going to be like, I don't want to end a relationship. I love you, I love you, I love you, over and over. Like, the basis of that argument, you've already set the stakes so high that it's not going to be a productive argument for the couple. Like, you're both not having a discussion about the issue. Your issue is, you're not listening to my boundaries. Change that. And he's saying, but you're describing it in a way that sounds like, you're not listening to my boundaries, I'm out of here. So the discussion isn't about the boundaries, it's about whether or not I'm leaving or staying.
I loved him, even. He would always insist that was true, like that. I love you more. But he was like really serious about it. And looking
the other
back...
person is going to flail and panic, leave anyway. Yeah. Jesus. You guys have no idea. This stuff makes me feel so old, dude. I really feel like I've been super fucking reasonable in this stream. I've never felt this old. I feel like a dad. This sucks.
I do believe that the way I was swept off my feet at the beginning of this relationship was 100% love bombing.
The beginning of the relationship that we had was amazing. Wow, you mean the honeymoon period of a relationship where you're both being attentive to each other? Okay, guys, when you get in a new relationship, right, that's the honeymoon period where you're both being attentive to each other and aware of each other's wants and needs, and you're exploring things with each other. It's before you've gotten into like a settled routine about the relationship, right? So, of course, like love bombing is okay, let's use it to biting. Let's say he bites, breaks skin, he bites really hard, right? He bites really hard, breaks skin. You're like, ow, you start crying. But he's like, babe, I love you. I love you. I love you. You're so sweet. I love you. You're so gentle and beautiful and amazing. Blah, 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 blah. That's love bombing.
$5 from Fernando H. The drama that makes you old.
The drama that makes you old. This is like the beach that makes you old, you're right. This drama is the beach that makes you old. Oh my god. I don't think at 30 years old, I don't think she's had that much relationship experience. I think when she's talking about a lot of relationship experience, I think she's full of shit. I gotta be honest. Oh shit. Accusing my boss of love bombing when she tells me I did a good job. Yeah, it's not something that happens once in the beginning of the relationship. I really have a feeling that this is just a relationship that was completely incompatible. Wilbur's not defending himself, so he's already given up the plot. She's just learning what all of us do eventually, that you can't change people. Yeah. Yeah. You can't change people. That's a really good point. So do you think this is all being blown out of proportion? How do you feel about this drama overall? I think we're really early into the drama. How should she have dealt with this? She was dealing with this. Shelby even describes that she was dealing with this. She was getting therapy. She was moving on. She was 10 months out from the relationship. And now, assuming that the trauma is real, this reopens all the trauma. I don't know if I'd say that this was a decision made after discussing with the therapist. I would hope that a therapist would not encourage this, because that would be bad. And I would disagree highly with that. Now, am I a therapist? No, but that is my opinion. I think a lot of people are really pushing it ahead really early. Shelby didn't mention Wilbur by name, so she wasn't trying to direct attention at Wilbur to ruin him. So either she's playing 4D chess and knew that it would get to him, right? Or she just really genuinely wanted to share an experience, right? 2, a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers immediately, again, without providing much aside from testimony, said, believe Shelby. Wilbur's done. Wilbur's out. Right? And I do think that that's 1, too early in the drama. 2, can backfire very heavily. 3, saying nothing is free. Saying nothing is free. I understand that you're streaming all the time, right? And that people are going to ask. People will come to me when Quiet was accused. They'd say, Diesel, talk about it. I'd say, wait for the response. Right? That's all I'd say. It's not asking me to give it a take. It's not asking me to say anything. You're not required to say anything. You don't need to say anything.
$9.99 from Red Kitten in the Cradle. Hope this helps with your early hospice care.
Thank
Heart.
you. Thank you. I will make sure to fund my hospice with that. Minecraft YouTubers turn on each other way too fast. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really, we're too early, and we keep doing this in these dramas. Not and when I say we, I mean like the public of the internet writ large. Things happen, and what we do is that we say something too fast. The internet did this beautiful thing where it connected all of us. But it turns out that being able to see the opinions of everybody you've ever known, admired, or loved at an instant is actually really bad for your health. So maybe don't say something immediately. Resist that urge. There's nothing to say that you can't say anything. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. Now, it might feel like that through Twitter, or maybe even your fans. I know I've been there. But you have to have a backbone, or your audience will walk all over you. Okay? You need to be able to tell your audience, not talking about it. And be comfortable with the fact that some of them aren't going to be happy about it. But it's not your place. It's not your place. The only two people that should speak about this are Wilbur and Shelby. And nobody else.
This is a certified hood classic.
Let's be old together, white-haired man.
Thank you, Cloudy.
And
People
we were
think everyone wants their take on everything. You don't need to take on everything. Okay? You don't need to take on everything. You don't need to. Especially if you're a normal person. I mean, there's more incentive for me to have a take on everything. But you don't need to have a take on everything. Fucking, you're right to not say anything.
friends for a time. At least people would have thought that, actually. But I use the word friend very loosely because we had actually never spoke to each other outside of group chats we were in together when, like, a handful of times throughout the whole time that we knew each other. But we were because for a time, 100% love bombing. And we were friends for a time. At least people would have thought that, actually. But I use the word friend very loosely because
you were friendly with your ex after you dated, which is fine.
We had actually never spoke to each other outside of group chats we were in together when, like, a handful of times throughout the whole time that we knew each other.
So wait. The way she's explaining it kind of sounds like they only had their relationship through group chat.
But did not talk to each other. So I wouldn't have even called him my friend until he found out I was single, waited a few weeks to reach out, and then we started a friendship. And then that...
What do you mean? Dude just shot his shot. I don't know what to fucking tell you. We were just friends because we were in group chats together. This is like before the relationship. What does this have to do with anything? Dude just shot his shot. That was it. That's all. That's it. He waited until she was single, gave her time to recover from the last relationship, and then shot his shot. That's it. That's like Lex and Dom only chatting in a group chat. I was gonna say that, but apparently he hit her up in the DMs.
friendship turned...
He bit her through the phone. He e-bit her.
romantic. And then he made these huge romantic gestures. He wrote me the most beautiful love letter that I had ever read. He called me his soulmate. He talked about forever 1 month in.
That is normal in honeymoon phase. Maybe a little ridiculous. I probably wouldn't say that. But he's like a twee fucking soft boy. Have you pre-watched? No.
Told me he hadn't been in a relationship in 5 years. He thought he could
Oh
never...
my god, bro. Hadn't been in a relationship in 5 years. He literally was coming into this with the mentality of like a 20-year-old guy. No, wait. So if they met and started dating in 2021... He probably hadn't been... This might be like his first sexual encounter. That's like not even completely off the table. He might be completely unaware of sexual encounters and how they work. right? So here's the way I want to take it. If she's saying he hadn't been in a relationship in 5 years, right? And they start dating in 2021, give or take. We're just assuming, right? Then he would have been like 15, 16 last time he was in a relationship. Got rabies.
Find love again before he met me. He said he wanted someone to grow with. He wanted to be a dad. He had all his names picked out, and I didn't have a preference
Yeah,
because
that's a red flag. That's just straight up a red flag. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. That's a red flag. I ain't even gonna. If you're 1 month into a relationship and homie's talking about marrying you, leave. If you've just started dating a guy, or you're not even dating a guy, there's like some romantic tension between you two, and he's like, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna wed you. Bro, you are a 19, 20-year-old guy? No, you're probably not. 19, I think he was 24 in 2021. My perception of time is completely ruined. But yeah, either way, this is weird. 100%. This is like 100% a red flag. And I would assume someone with dating experience has ran into a guy like that before, but don't.
it is at the time.
Bros in La La Land, yeah. That's like a teenage guy mentality. That is literally like if you're a lady, you want to know where that mentality comes from? That's like teenage guy, romantic Romeo. I'm gonna find the love of my life and we're gonna live happily ever after. That is teenager talk.
Is right, and with the right person, I could. But if that doesn't work out in time or the time, I'm not super pressed about it. But I started opening my mind up to the idea with him because it seems
just at me, boss.
so important to him. And I kept trying to talk to him to figure out where he was later on when I could tell things like were declining. And now all of a sudden he's telling me he's not sure he wants kids at all. In fact, he has never been attached to the idea of kids. And I told him that isn't what he said before. And he said,
so near the end of the relationship, he decided he didn't want to have kids with you. What is this? This is an abuse. This is him becoming older and going, damn, that was fucking nuts. When I was like 18, I wanted kids. I'm 26 now. I don't want kids.
He's allowed to change his mind. And I'm of the opinion that in a relationship, there are a few things that you are not actually allowed to change your mind.
That's an insane thing to say, lady, but okay, go off, sis.
Without letting your partner know. I think that...
What are you fucking talking about having kids all the time? I don't... What are you guys talking about? Fucking becoming a barefoot housewife? What?
Kids is one of them. It wasn't even important to me. And I think marriage is one of them, so I brought that up next. And I asked if he still wanted marriage. He said he wanted to marry me. And then he said, now, I'm not quote, I'm not the commitment guy. You know that.
The relationship is coming to an end. You say, I'm not the commitment guy. What a fucking surprise. Of course he doesn't want to do marriage when we're getting to the near end of the relationship. What a fucking surprise. He's looking for a get out of relationship card.
I didn't know that. Why are you dating me? In fact, he was telling me the exact opposite every day. He would tell me he still wanted to be together. He wanted to work on all of the problems. He wanted to
work on all the problems, probably because he saw you were like not happy about it.
Like he wanted me at the end of everything. He did not want to break up. He made that very clear. And
both of these people should have just broken up with each other. They weren't compatible. And they just were too afraid to have the hard discussion that was, we need to break up.
I have, though, caught him in lies before, but usually it was small stuff. And I didn't want to, it wasn't anything that ever seemed worth rocking.
I'm sorry. This does not sound like abuse. I'm sorry. Like the biting stuff 100% is super fucking weird. But the description of it is this is not Twitter discussion worthy. The way we're talking about this makes it sound like Wilbur was beating the fuck out of this woman. Okay? That is where the discussion is.
The boat over. which isn't normal for me. I hate
Yeah, you do not need the other person's permission to break up.
lies. And yet I ended up lying for him. So, but he had lied about big things. And he had also been caught lying by his friends numerous times. So this is something that he feels is acceptable to do. And everything reached a breaking point when he was about to leave for an extended period of time. We were not going to see each other very much, a few days out of every few months. And now suddenly he is dumping all of these problems that he has been having feelings about all of this time later. At one point he said he's been feeling this way a couple months. At another point he says he's been feeling...
Diesel, biting is sexy. I agree, biting is sexy. Chains and whips excite me. I'm sorry. Whatever, I'm a fucking degenerate. I think that shit's hot. Fuck. You know, Lady D... I wish you could step on me. Okay? Goblins? I like a bratty girl. What can I say?
this way for 6 months, immediately contradicting himself in the same conversation. And with no time to do anything about it. I arrived, never mind, I'm going to get to something later, but I literally arrived for 3 days for this conversation to happen and then leave. My cat just woke up, and she's not usually awake right now. Hi, my love. It's really close to her dinner time. I should have fed her early. So no time to fix any of the problems all of a sudden because there are 3 days before he leaves. And he insisted...
Hi, Poppy. I have a decent credit score health insurance.
He did not want to break up. And so he was expecting me to have a solution somehow magically, and I gave a number of solutions that would have a way forward for us to be together, but he refused to make any compromise whatsoever. And he said that the relationship was starting to feel like a responsibility towards the end. Also his words.
This is not what is being portrayed on Twitter at all, guys. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop where I'm like, this bastard is evil.
So it wasn't a responsibility the whole rest of the time to him. And he was at this point basically flaunting that he would never prioritize me over anything.
Okay, that sounds like editorializing, but go off.
She's eating my laundry. Please don't cause problems. And I wasn't even asking for literally even the bare minimum. I was asking for so little. And I was watching him give exactly what I was needing in the relationship.
She did
all
say
over the place.
She was reading off of notes.
To anybody else who just happened to ask and just wasn't me. So, and he was never going to prioritize me over anything that would give him more fame or money. In fact, he said that himself. That was exactly why he was not going to compromise at all.
Near the end of the relationship, the guy who was famous said that he would prioritize his work over you. What a surprise. What a surprise. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for this didn't need to be on the internet. This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe the discussion that's happening now. All these YouTubers that are coming out against Wilbur Soot are like insane. I watched an edited version, so maybe this is because I didn't watch the original, but that's how I felt. Well, this is apparently the VOD, minus the dead air cutout. When does Wilbur Soot pull out a gun? Somebody tagged me. Okay. Thank you, Mishi, for telling me that you would eat that. Mishi, go to bed.
Solution for us to be together because
that's the thing with YouTubers in a Minecraft space. A lot of them are like false friends or just like waiting for something to happen to kick them out or like fuck them over. I always describe Minecraft YouTubers as like the Game of Thrones characters. They're all like House Lannister type characters. Like fucking Dream is Cersei, bro. Like it's insane.
He said he wanted to see
maybe Pokimane is Cersei.
How much fame and money he could get. And I just thought we wanted to be together. I thought that's what we both wanted because that's what he was still saying he wanted too.
I want to be together, but I also want to be famous.
Then he also admitted to me that he had grown to resent me. And I have to be thankful that he said that bit out loud. A lot of these bits he said out loud because that was the last push that I needed to get myself out. He had grown resentful, which I also pointed out that there was no reason to feel that way. And he admitted that there was no reason for him to feel that way either. I think that it was because I'm someone who can communicate how I feel. But
I don't know about that, Shelby, but okay.
I don't know. I have a lot of theories and reasons why I believe things happened the way that they did and why he was lying all of the time. But he was resentful of me, was causing me physical harm every day, multiple times a day, despite me telling him
Physical
over
harm?
and over.
I would love to see a picture of these bite marks.
Over again to stop. He wasn't going to change, and he wasn't going to end the relationship. He was going to keep hurting me.
It really sounds like you wanted him to end a relationship and you didn't want the responsibility of breaking up. Because that's what that sounded like. And I will say this. I have seen and known women like that. Where they're just waiting for the guy to pull the trigger. Imagine feeling resentful in a failing relationship. Yeah, I've never heard that before.
And it was possibly going to escalate even further. So I broke up with him. And I didn't even want to.
See what I mean? Oh my god.
Because I couldn't even see for such a long time after what it really was that had happened, that he had abused me. And in fact,
they both wanted the other person to do the dumping. Yeah.
we left things as we want to be friends, and he can never imagine.
Why didn't Wilbur just break up with her? Because none of them had the confidence to have that difficult conversation. That's it. That's really it. Both of them lacked the experience and emotional availability to deal with that discussion. There's probably also a lot of time put into a relationship. You know, sunk cost fallacy.
to me again. And then he never spoke to me again.
No, really, you broke up with him. And then after saying that you'll be friends, he never spoke to you again? Really? Wow, I've never heard that before. Are we? I can't believe we're doing this. This is ridiculous. I honestly, you know what? I would probably. I'm starting to understand Lyric's position.
Outside of like a couple of exchanges where I needed to ask for my clothes to be shipped. So at least I got my clothes back. I had a whole closet full.
Hey, man. That's nice. He gave you your stuff back? I got exes that they didn't give shit back. Okay?
However, he did throw away all of my other things.
Really? Wow. Really? They're just things, lady. You can buy them again.
Without saying a word to me about it. Hundreds
No
of
shit.
dollars of things from my office.
Really? Wow, crazy. He wanted to get the affectations of his past relationship out of the house. Wow.
Were trashed without a word. And I didn't block him till 10 months later because I wanted an open door still. I really thought I wanted to be his friend.
You must have not been going to therapy. I don't believe this at all. This is insane what I'm hearing.
But I don't feel that way anymore. I do believe he was bottling up so many
Define things.
emotions, and he would never talk about how he felt.
No, a man was bottling up his emotions and not telling his girlfriend how he really felt. Wow, I've never heard that before. If he's not feeling emotionally available because you're both angry at each other all the time, of course he's not going to share things with you. Yeah, I guess this is the stance of most commentary creators. However, given how widely supported she is, it is useless to take the situation at heart. Wilbur, it sounds like listen, Wilbur's response to this, this would have been an easy slam dunk to respond to. He didn't do that, and instead he decided to take the, the she's a victim role, and so he ruined himself. He canceled himself. Period.
I think he did admit that he felt like he couldn't say it any sooner. Like there was just no possible way to say how he was feeling sooner than the absolute last possible chance. Like not even a chance, because 3 days before he left, that was actually a lie too. Also, he didn't leave for another week after I left. He brought me in, had this 3-day conversation. He was supposed to leave, and then he stayed for another week before he left with all of the friends that I was also meant to see, but he had lied to me about the dates too. But I do believe that that he was bottling up so many emotions that he was taking it out on me physically. I believe there was a moment where he knew that he didn't want to be in the relationship anymore, and instead of just ending it, he tried to push me away any way he knew.
Are you fucking kidding me? She's like, this is so clear. Like, if you're a grown adult, you know exactly the kind of like, you've seen this before. He didn't want to end a relationship. He was too afraid, so he was pushing me away and waiting for me to do it.
Hurt me, and he knew all of the ways that would hurt me the most, and he knew he was hurting me. There was
probably had no fucking clue. I gotta be frank.
Way that he didn't know because of the safe word that he made, and he just didn't care. He was hurting me, and he didn't care, and even looked like he was enjoying it sometimes. And I can look back now, and I can see all these instances that were really major red flags. There was this one time that he pinned me down and asked me to try my absolute hardest to get him off of me. And I couldn't do it, obviously. And he said something to make the point that he was so much stronger than me that I wouldn't be able to fight him back. Fight back against what? What do you mean? You don't say shit like that to people? That's insane. And I was also sexually assaulted by my first boyfriend, and he knew that. He had stopped giving anything to the relationship, and he said
Okay. Wilbur wanted to be the Dom soft boy really bad, and she was clearly uncomfortable having a, how do I say this, semi BDSM type relationship. Okay, that's what that sounded like. But that does, the way she's describing it makes it sound like he like pinned her down on the bed, and he's like, nobody would hear you scream. It's just you and me in here, and you're trapped by me.
that why was because he was just waiting for things to change on their own.
She's asexual for context. Okay, so he wanted a very sexual girlfriend, and she didn't want anything sexual. Period. No wonder. Yeah, that matters so much to this. They would have been, clearly he was like wanted to be very sexually active. Diesel, please don't do that again. It's okay. I understand you guys liked it.
He said he also didn't have the time or energy anyway to do the things that I was asking for, but then would constantly make any bit of time and energy for anybody and anything but me.
Camden Gerard Davis ASMR.
And he would say he wanted more quality time. So then I would try to arrange things for us to do online because we were long distance, but then he would complain that he doesn't want to spend all of his time on the computer anymore. And then we'd be there in person, and all he wants to do is stay inside, play games on his computer, watch movies. He doesn't want to go out.
Oh my God.
And I'm not saying any of this next part to be mean.
This is not abuse that you've described. So that relationship shouldn't have even happened in the first place because of that. Okay, guys. The sexual intimacy conversation should happen early in the relationship. Okay? Period. It just should. If you're in a relationship, you go, I'm asexual, is that okay? And he says, I want to be sexual with you. Done. It's done. Like, you just end it. Because then, like, you can't reach an agreement. You're sexually incompatible. Yeah, get it out of the way. Just get it out of the way. Life's too short. Life's too short to just like guess what each other's into. Just be fucking honest about it.
He lived in filth like I have never seen. And I've seen filth. This was the worst. He would spill things on the floor and never, literally never, clean them up. He got in.
Asmund. And again, I want to say that trash bag in the background. I'm taking my recycling tomorrow, and I want to remember.
Ant infestation once, and wasn't going to do anything about it because he said, bugs are normal in British houses. So I had to buy ant killer, and he wouldn't clean his bathroom for months and months and months, but would constantly complain about how bad it smelled. And I would tell him that's mold. It's mold. He complained about being tired all the time too, which I don't know if that was a lie or not, but mold.
Okay, if he was living in like an absolute dirty den of disgusting, like it's okay to be a little schlubby, but if he was like again, I need evidence of this. Period. After everything, I need evidence of this.
We'll do that too, but he would insist that it wasn't somehow without having cleaned in months. But it's not mold. When I met him, he was washing his clothes.
She came out a year before they got together, so she knew. Okay, pause there. Pause. Listen, everybody I interact with, I don't know. Here's the thing. I walk up to a person on the street. I don't know their pronouns. I don't know their sexual orientation. Do me a favor and tell me. I don't care if there's like you explained it to somebody else or you tweeted it out or nothing. Just do me the solid of doing it right here, right now. Okay? It's a relationship. I think a discussion about her sexual orientation is worthy of conversation.
Without detergent. Just it wasn't using that at all. And I don't know for how long before I met him.
His name is Wilbur Soot, literally.
Running it with water.
He was living in a chimney, actually.
And then hanging it on his filthy kitchen cabinets. And I felt bad. I felt bad because I felt like he needed someone to help him learn how to be cleaner. I thought he just didn't know how.
I wanted to change him. You're 30! You're 30 years old!
And I listened to all of the struggles of his upbringing, and I was like, he just doesn't know how. Someone just needs to show him.
He explained how he grew up in maybe a hoarder's household, and now he didn't know how to clean, and maybe he lived a bit more schlubbier, so I tried to change him.
And then I found out that he said he doesn't clean at all when I'm not there because he just waits for me to get there to do it. And I only found out about that after we broke up because he said it behind my back. I was doing all of the cleaning and laundry.
This is absolutely outrageous. Minecraft, YouTube, Twitter, I understand you're made up of a bunch of minors, but this is not how adult relationships work. And your perception of what an adult relationship is wrong. You're a teenager. Go outside, touch some grass, meet a person to hold hands with and go to prom with, but don't get on Twitter and try to tell these people who are morons and adults how relationships work. Because guess what? You actually don't know anything.
For him. Also, I had a separate bathroom. I want to make that clear. I wasn't using that bathroom. I had a separate bathroom that I cleaned for myself. I had cleaning supplies. I don't think he even actually knew I had cleaning supplies in there. But I had my own bathroom. All the cleaning, all the laundry, all of it, I was paying for all of.
Okay, if you're dating a guy and he doesn't clean, he doesn't know how to cook, he doesn't know how to do basic hygiene stuff, just I don't care like how great he is, break up with him. That guy's nuts. Period. If you're a grown adult, do yourself a favor. Learn how to cook some dishes, learn how to do the laundry, learn how to fold, do basic things. Okay? I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a little schlubby. I could be that way. Everybody can. Having a perfect home isn't necessary. Okay? But do those basic things. Learn them. A cookbook is a beautiful thing. Okay? Cleaning is a beautiful thing. Do those things. Okay? He doesn't want a GF. He wants a mom. No man is worth living in filth for. 100%. Don't do that to yourself. Don't become a fucking maid.
The like paper towels, like soap. All of that only stayed in the house so long as I was buying it. I would arrive and there would just not be toilet paper in the whole house. There were paper towels instead. And who knows for how long too. I was paying for food more than half the time because he would often push me into ordering food for us, even if I had paid for the last meal or the meal before that. And I'm of the opinion now.
Yeah, like he's a man child. Like if a man being clean is something that's like absolutely imperative to you, which by the way, I think that's like on a minimum requirement for a guy. Is that why you have your own jizz cookbook? Exactly.
Now that I shouldn't have been paying for any food. None at all. But I wanted to at least, I thought I was being equal by at least doing like a back and forth. But I ended up paying for food more often than just going back and forth anyway. And he would do this to his friends all the time too. But I was also paying for every plane ticket and the cat sitter, which cost roughly the amount of a plane ticket to England. And he never offered to help me pay after the couple of times he did come here to visit me because he paid for the flights that we would both take. But that only happened twice at the very.
He wasn't covering your flights. I'm sorry. Listen, if you want your girl to come out to you and you're a guy and you have money, I think it is gentlemanly and behooves you. Now, this is a personal thing. I think it's gentlemanly and behooves you to, if you can afford it, to be the gracious person and afford that plane ticket for them. Personally, in my opinion, I think it is not very appropriate or polite to do that to a woman when you're asking her to come over. Okay, so that's really it.
I have actually had a friend tell me that this is financial abuse, but I don't know enough
That's not. Your friends are stupid. Your friends are stupid. Financial abuse. Yeah, he was literally siphoning the money out of your wallet. Oh.
about that to save for myself, but I was telling him that I couldn't afford it all by myself all the time because I was losing money. I was never able to work properly there, and he wasn't traveling at all to see me anymore, even though he said he would. That was like the basis of our entire relationship starting off.
Was being able to travel. Yeah, absolutely. So if he's not paying, or he's not like helping,
So then he agreed to pay for the cat sitter so that it would be basically paying half the cost.
I'm sorry. How did this get so ridiculous? What is with all these Minecrafters? What is with them? What's wrong with them? See you next week. Financial abuse is literally controlling someone else's finances and not letting them have access to it. Not going halvesies is not financial abuse. Diesel, are you hydrating? Honestly, no.
Cost of my travels.
I don't have any water by me. I have G Fuel, but it's late. I'm trying to go to bed on time.
And he did that once. And then never did it again, despite many more months of dating. And I was traveling often. I had to because he...
Bro, dating it's a fucking wild world out there now. This is absolutely incredibly insane.
I was worried that we weren't spending enough quality time together. And then all of the time that he would have ever extra, he would choose to not spend it on me because there was an available choice, and he chose not to spend it with me often. And I did everything short of just up and move there, which I was willing to do the whole time. And I told him that I was willing to do it, and he knew, but he insisted that I don't. He insisted not to. He was planning to move here. That was supposed to happen first. And then at the end of the relationship,
I had no money while
things...
traveling often. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. These guys' perception of struggle and poverty is completely different from the perception that you and I have.
Would have been different if I lived there. If I lived there. Like I had said I would the whole time, and he insisted I don't. Maybe that could have saved the relationship.
Yeah, I'm getting really close to tapping out too, CJ, but we're almost done. We're almost done.
And I say all of this because I believe that people like this are genuinely dangerous. I believe he is dangerous. He was willing to lie. He was willing to do harm to someone he claimed to love more than anyone he has ever loved.
This is outrageous. He's dangerous? Okay. Sure he is.
his actions escalated. And I don't think that I'll be the last person that he hurts. And I felt like sharing my story was really important to warn people. I want people to see the signs that I refused to. I want you to listen to your body and get out as soon as possible. Tell your friends the truth and let them help you. I really thought I couldn't, because I had been sexually assaulted in a previous relationship, I just thought I was so much smarter to never, and I was like, if someone ever laid their hands on me, I'd leave immediately. It would never happen a second time. But
You are describing it as if he beat the fuck out of you and he was biting you, and
it just kind of happened so slowly over.
and he said in his apology, yeah, she's a victim or whatever to this. Yeah, and the longer I get through this, the less I am inclined to, this is outrageous. I can't believe we're here. Yeah, she's upset about the relationship and wants to tear him down on Twitter. I don't think you even went to therapy. I think you just listened to your friends gas you up so you could fuck them over.
Time and got worse and worse and worse until the point where there's no way to deny the fact that he was hurting me and he knew and didn't care. That's just the kind of thing that I keep repeating to myself when I'm like, but was it bad enough? It wasn't violent enough. But I was being hurt multiple times every single day, days and days and days and days for a month at a time in a row. And I'm not even speaking on most, because I did touch on other things.
I have seen danger. I have seen dangerous. This is so inappropriate, bro. I hate this. I hate this because I've seen it.
But I'm not even speaking on most of the other things that, in my opinion, I do think that there are some things that are across a line that make you a bad person. I don't think that most people can be defined in a black and white, you're good or you're bad. But I do believe that there's a line that you can cross, and only bad people will do the things on the other side of that line. You know what I mean?
What did he do that crossed that line? And if you say the biting, that's a little ridiculous.
I only cry now when I'm talking about my friends who also dealt with such shitty things from shitty people.
I'm breathing, and I'm not going to say anything too offensive.
But I'm also so grateful for all of my friends who were with me through this whole thing, and my friends who also were experiencing similar sorts of situations at the same time, and we kind of went through it together. So I think they are the strongest people in the whole world, and they made me feel like the strongest people in the whole world today. Did I call myself people? I meant person. I feel like the strongest people. I did it again. I feel like the strongest person. They made me feel so brave. I felt impenetrable today. But I am going to go now because my friends are
I guess the classic human condition of black and white morality.
Coming over, and we're immediately going to go become distracted by watching Love is Blind. I already watched all of it already, and I don't care. So thank you.
Lyrics already said everything that needed to be said. I appreciate Lyrics' coverage, but I don't know if Lyrics has the range of relationship experience to offer a nuanced discussion. And I mean that in a nice way because he is young.
For listening. Thank you everyone who gifted subs. I am going to be taking
I already told somebody to get the fuck out of here when I yelled at them, so I'll resist the urge.
Rest of the week off from streaming. I have a video going out on
His friends have come out to say he was manipulative, but it's getting blown out of proportion on Twitter.
Saturday, and I'll be back next week, and you won't hear about any of this again for a while, probably. But
oh, sweetie, you've entered the great game. Unfortunately, you are now a pawn in larger YouTubers' repertoire of ruining somebody else.
Thank you all. I don't really even know what to do now. I think I'm just going to end. Go spread love all over the place on Twitch right now, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Let's read the comments. To be so clear here, consent is a long-term discussion, not a single conversation. It's not something you agree to once and that is. You can always revoke consent, period, the end. Him asking for consent so she couldn't claim he was abusing her later on is not how consent works. Him asking for consent so she couldn't claim he was abusing her. Wait a second. What? He asked, "Hey, can I bite you?" She said yes. He bit her. Bites later. Don't bite me. He doesn't bite her. That's it. Somebody pinged me. The British person has sent this is how British people show affection. Are you watching a stream right now? Oh shit. I'm really mad. I'm really mad. I think this is super inappropriate. I am. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's like on one hand, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with somebody not being perfect in their relationship, right? Or you know, they're going through things. And like, okay, Wilbur's dirty. Hey Wilbur, we need to talk about you cleaning your space. You live here, you're a grown man. If you want me, assuming that she wasn't asexual, right? Assuming you're both sexually active, blah blah blah. If you want me to come over and do this, you need to fucking clean. Like, your dick can't stank, period. Like, these are normal things to discuss. Okay, you need to discuss these things because you need to have boundaries. You need to be able to be like, listen, this is okay, this isn't okay. These are important. I honestly, I'm really annoyed with how Wilbur's responded to this because he's basically just given everybody, you know, complete free reign of the narrative. He threw it away. Yeah, I don't have much shared ability. She's a grown-ass 30-year-old woman. If she was in her early 20s and she was explaining this to me, I would have been like, girl, you got played. You know, I'm really sorry that this fucking asshole came into your life. But now you know for the future not to run into men that are like this. Right? Like, if she was younger, I think it's more reasonable for her to make that mistake. Or for her to put herself out financially. Or for her to allow things that she's not 100% cool with. Because she hasn't grown to have that experience to talk about those things sexually. Right? Wilbur ain't my cup of tea, but that's as far as the expose really goes. It's absolutely outrageous to do that. Now I do have some evidence against Wilbur, so we will be pulling that up now. I'm receiving another message. I see the English are typing. The English are coming. Apparently his message was AI written. It may have been a result of him letting one of his staff respond with some basic input. If that's the case, then he's crazy. That he's a crazy person. And I don't care what he does now. But the financial abuse, Diesel. Give the tea, Pookie. Pookie's gonna give the tea. Alright? You just wait. Pookie's gonna... I was just asked, hey, can I bite you? I am asking so you can't later rescind. I've been locked in contractually to biting, so... Inside of you, there are 2 wolves. I got that dog in me, chat, okay? Okay, chat, I got that dog in me. Literally. Okay, so here are the quote-unquote bruise marks. Here are the quote-unquote bruise marks. Okay. The bite marks, bruises she talked about. This picture was posted the 10th of August, 2022. Actually apologize to Shelby. Okay, so she is a Caucasian woman. I got that Cameron Gerard Davis in me. We got him. You don't see anything? I mean, I don't see anything. Would you like to come on stream, British person who keeps messaging me right now? Okay. Where are these bruises? I can't tell whether or not those are shadows or a bruise. That could be a bruise. That is a vein. So that one on the arm is a vein. Maybe that? She's literally just a white woman with veins. Yeah.
$4.99 from Cloudy. Sorry, but paying all that money to fly somewhere and clean someone's house is crazy. LOL.
Mm-hmm. So that's like nothing. I honestly... Yeah, not to be rude, but can you circle them, says the reply. You know, it'd be a lot easier for the British person messaging me to speak if they got on stream. I've gotten bit before. I know, scandalous, and it was much more than that. Yeah, same. Let's see what Tubbo has to say. I don't know who Tubbo is.
I was informed about this like a few minutes before going live, so forgive me if I don't have my thoughts 100% clear in my head, but I read through it and like, bro, I made me so angry. I actually couldn't fucking believe it. Like, I'm like, holy shit. Like, sorry, it's getting me fucking, Chaz, you don't need to spam fucking hearts, bro. Knock that shit off. Like, no, all I'm saying is like, look, you might think I have a very biased perspective when it comes to it comes to this kind of stuff. No, but like, truth be told, the amount of times I've spoken to Wilbur in private could be counted on maybe 2 hands. And yeah, I'm not biased in this. I think that response was fucking vile. I'm like, how the hell can you make like
I think the response was bad too, but what the fuck are you saying? Bro is literally yapping.
How the hell can like this be about you, bro? Like, I literally don't want to say.
You're a moron. You have like 2 brain cells in your head, you fucking idiot. What is blood waffling about?
I want to make something very clear. There is this is, if anyone in this channel or any viewer in this stream, fucking hell, can I have 3 seconds?
Mute your fucking shit, you fucking idiot 2 IQ brain cell moron.
If any chatter in this stream or any person in this like community ever thinks about defending domestic abuse or anything like that, or anything in that vein, or anything that fucking serious, all right, you have no place here, and I want you to unfollow and I want you to leave.
Are you on? Is he on drugs? Is he actually on drugs? Did he just do a line before going live? Because he is like, is he on like for real on drugs?
And I really highly suggest, if you want the full context, go watch Shelby's VOD.
She didn't give anything. Okay, so the person is telling me he's been friends with Wilbur for like 4 years. Also, he's just British. Not sending the best, huh? Not sending the best from England to become YouTubers. Oh man, I need to see some more. Jack Manifold gave support to Shelby. Um, okay, like scroll through a little more. I want to see more responses from the YouTubers. If anybody wants to tag me in the thread for what YouTubers were saying, I will read Dream's response because it was fucking bananas, poo poo, crazy. Jacksepticeye, what are you doing getting involved in this? This is not your place at all. Let's see. One day. I can't say that about Dream either. I was about to say something. Wilbur befriended Tubbo when he was 15 years. Oh, okay. So they've been friends for a very long time. I hate Minecraft, YouTube, Twitter. They 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 should all be arrested simply for annoying me. It's on Dream's official account. I'll just go there. Yeah, I don't know why all these guys are talking about this. Dream. How old is Tubbo now? I don't know. 19. Didn't Dream write a whole fuck off response? I could have sworn I've seen it. Unless he took it down. Okay. Let's see. I can't read that, lyrics. Can't read that. But it was on Dream's official Twitter. At Dream. Yeah, I know. Dream was writing fucking paragraphs, bro. I mean, on one hand, I don't, like, care. Oh my god. Listen, Dream, you don't need to be involved in this at all. She said she withdrew a consent using a safe word that you frequently would intentionally bite down harder afterwards, to the point she would scream. Even isolated from everything else, that's clearly abuse. I mean, I guess if we isolate it, yeah, that's abuse, but in the context of everything else, it starts to feel not as serious. While reading this, I was waiting to see you talk about that issue, say anything at all, only to finish reading and find out you didn't acknowledge it once. Yes, you did. What? Really don't understand how you thought that this was accountability or an apology or even an informative statement. Listen, Dream, you literally just escaped being a pedophile. Are you really going to throw yourself back into the drama? You're a moron. You must think you're so fucking smart. Thank you, Nani. I refuse to believe they watched the VOD. Yeah. You take accountability for being slavish, disrespectful, and selfish while oversharing, blah, blah, blah. You're being dishonest with yourself, yada, yada. She trusted you with the safe word as a boundary. You shattered that trust. Yeah, so that should stop. I agree. I think him breaking the safe word was not appropriate, but if it was agreed upon, I mean, it's literally his versus her word. Like, you're all just choosing to agree with Shelby because she's a woman. Like, that's really it. Therapy won't help if she blah 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 is playful, affectionate, especially consensual. Your therapist can't read your mind and know you're being dishonest. You also can't read his fucking mind either, you fucking mongoloid. Okay. Nani, you can stop tagging me. It's fine. I think I'm I don't even know if I'm gonna get through all of these because this is I'm actually getting a headache. This is Brutus stabbing Caesar type of drama. Wilbur might have been a bad boyfriend, but the way all these streamers turn on him is wild. Yeah, it is. It is. Et tu, Wilbur. The point of the mask was to hide his identity as he stabbed Wilbur. Stream, you're an idiot. Okay, I'm not even gonna shit you guys. I don't know why. I know I haven't heard of Shelby before, but I had Shelby muted. Now, I don't know why I had Shelby muted, but I'm gonna scroll through her Twitter a little bit because I know it wasn't from this drama, so she must have given a hot take and it annoyed me, and so I muted her. She must have given a really stupid hot take and I muted her. Oh, shit. Dehydration can lead to hypertension in the head, Pookie. Sometimes Pookie wants to have a hypertension. Pookie wants to be... Who's this? Who's this guy?
I want to obviously start off with the very clear statement that I unequivocally and always have stand with Shelby.
I don't think any of you, no bitches, no pussy, ain't nobody get laid, nobody get dick, nobody get nothing. None of you understand what abuse is. You haven't even seen it. I guarantee most of you probably didn't come from a background where you experienced it.
As someone who has known of the situation for a longer time, and is best friends with Shelby.
I gassed her up and I lied to her and I said a bunch of crazy shit to make her go live and ruin Wilbur.
Know about it. I was disappointed, but also not really shocked by the response. I'm not even going to call it an apology because I don't know how you managed to make a statement.
I think
apologizing where you turn it into everything about yourself.
It was very similar to Dreams. I wonder if they do a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers will... If I watch one more of these and the guy is saying the same thing, then these guys all corroborated together to come up with a statement to say, because he's saying the same thing that Dream said.
Not quite sure how you managed to do that one, but here we are. I obviously support Shelby and Lexi in her situation.
Who the fuck is the other moron?
I think it's absolutely awful that these men just do the things they do.
I have something to tell you. Women can also do it. Not to be that guy.
This is a certified hood classic.
All I can spare tonight, Diesel. Still hope that you resolve your issue.
Yeah, I'm gonna put out a video about it. Thank you. I am. Really, it's kind of just like I can't really do much about it. So I'm gonna just make a video, put it on a second channel. I had to it was really fucking annoying. I do appreciate the donos. That's very nice of you guys. I do. It's just, yeah, it's frustrating. I don't want to talk too much about it, but you know, it's been an expensive ending of the contract, so I appreciate it.
I've obviously spoken about it in depth with Shelby.
Of course, you've spoken about it in depth with Shelby. Fucking, I don't give a shit what you have to fucking say. Yeah, sure. That's whatever. Minecraft, YouTube, Twitter can all fucking, I don't know, be fucking mad at me or whatever. I don't give a shit. I am finding this very suspect. I'm honestly genuinely shocked that this is what drama is. Like, I don't understand why we're at this point, but these children are wild. These are grown adults. Scott and Shelby are both in Empire's SMP. I don't know what those words mean. None of those words are in the Bible. All right, you little guys, all you cool cats and kittens. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did put out stuff, Rambo and Jack Manifold. But my ass is fat, and I gotta put my fat ass somewhere else aside from this chair before I have a brain aneurysm on YouTube. So British men can only make women scream by biting them. Listen, I'm bite friendly. I appreciate a woman who's a biter. Okay. All right. There's a reason that some girls are snacks. Okay. Because you just want to take a bite out of them. Oh shit. All right, besties. Night night.